This is a presentation of the Oklahoma Sports Network.
Any other use of this telecast or any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the Oklahoma Sports Network's consent is prohibited. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be used without express written consent.
And welcome to the LeGrand Cantina here in the mall. It's our Tuesday Coaches Show where we have 6 area schools. We talk football, we talk coaches and players, and we're glad to have you along for the ride. You can certainly come here in person, too. We'd love to have you. Talked about all the different things on LeGrand Cantina's menu, from traditional Mexican even to the more modern, and you can kind of split the menu and check it out. But I highly recommend the Protein Bowl. As I was talking with Coach Pushki before we went on, it is basically all of their proteins all in one bowl, and get ready to eat. I would suggest share it with a friend because I had to take half of it home the next day because it's got their pork, they've got the fajita chicken, fajita beef, chorizo, and shrimp. And then they also have the onions and peppers that go with it, and a Mexican cheese they put on the top of that. So it is a highly recommend. It's very popular as well. And so if you've never tried LeGrand Cantina, we'd like to have you as our personal guest here inside the Central Mall. What used to be the mall, Vista, whatever you want to call it, is kind of what we were talking about now, of how the changes in the mall has taken place over the years. So we're going to start off with the MacArthur Highlanders and Coach Pushki, offensive coordinator, along with a couple of players, and was able to talk to Coach for our rundown for our coaches show before we get to the Ponca City match. But usually we do a review from week to week, and from your vantage point, I know you break down film just like the rest of the coaching staff does. How that last game with Lawton High looked, and what did you come away with on that game?
Yeah, last Friday was really good, especially offensively. I felt like we were really balanced in our attacks. One of the things going into the game, I wanted to get some more of our receivers involved, have some big shots down the field. I felt like we were able to do that. Hit a deep one to Josh early in the second quarter, and then had a couple of good ones over here to Bo, and then hit one late to Kenyon Gabriel late in the game. And so, offensively, when I break it down, I look at numbers. And so we were, I think, 83% scoring percentage against Lawton High. And so, we always strive to be above 75. I say if we're above 75 scoring percentage, usually we're probably win the game. And then, obviously, red zone is really big. I think we were about 80% in the red zone. So anytime you get those numbers above 75, you probably have a good outcome.
Well, and your quarterback did well. He's also in the front runner for the OSN Player of the Week, just shy of 200 yards, passing, almost 100 yards rushing. The touchdowns that he had. And then we're going to talk about this. We have on the air about the connection to him and Josh, or even Bo, as far as that's a timing pattern. Yes. And we saw that at the end of the season last year, going into the Guthrie playoff matchup, and then we kind of had to wait a little bit. And I was very patient with it because I know it's reps, it's timing, it's just to get underneath that, to be able to throw when you do. And it was finally good to see that those connections starting to come, because that's a familiarity with quarterback to receiving core, and it's nice to be kind of get those games. This is the fine tune-ups before you get into district play.
Yeah, and I even played a great game the other night. Just his leadership, what I've seen him grow from last year, this year, obviously being a sophomore, and then growing into his junior role this year. He's really getting settled in. He knows our offense. But no, credit to these guys. All summer long they're up there at the field doing one-on-ones and working and stuff like that. And so, yeah, just the chemistry and the timing obviously just gets better and better as the season goes on.
Oh, what has this been like? I talked to Coach a little bit about this. These are 3 rivalry games. Before you really get into one last non-district game, but you're talking about 2 city rivals and one that was just right up the interstate, just a few minutes away with Elgin on your 0-week game. But just emotionally, physically, what has that done for the team to come into the rest of the season?
Yeah, I mean, you talk about a brutal preseason. Of course, Elgin is really good. That's kind of become a newer rival. And then you got the city rivalries. And so, yeah, these 3 weeks have been, really emotional, high energy games. And then, finish it off with a long road trip to Ponca City. And, we always talk about, these are really good builders for the end of the season, for the playoffs. Tough teams in the playoffs win. And so we've been in this situation. We've been in these emotional, high-energy games. We've made a long road trip after next Friday. And so, just getting that used to that and getting that stuff underneath our belt.
I'm going to ask you this question. What have you learned about this team in the 3 games that we played? What have you learned the most?
Man, honestly, and I knew this back in January. I run the weight room in the spring and the fall, and so when we start our off season, this has been one of the best weight room groups that we've ever had. And we've had some really good ones. But these guys they bring it every single day. Both these guys sitting to my right are 2 of the most high energy leaders that we have. They never take a rep off. And so, I knew that, they had good leadership. And so good energy going into it. But no, they're strive for perfection. And you can see it. You see it when they're watching film. They know that they messed up on this certain thing, and they, go to practice and they work on it the very next day. And so they're willing or they want to be perfect at everything.
Are you ready for a true road trip? We all joking, and I think I've talked with you, I've talked with Coach, myself, and all the years I've called games. I've never been to Ponca City. I mean, I've driven on the interstate where I see the exit to Ponca City, and it's a 6A school, so not very familiar. And this is a game that we picked up, like Coach said, for those who are saying, well, man, we've already played 3 non-district games. We should be in a district play by now. Well, Guyman was a team that opted where they're in the district, but they're not going to play. And so I know Midwest City had to do the same thing, and they picked up Putnam City West at the last minute. Do you just want to play 9 games? And Coach told me earlier when we did a recorded coaches session, he says, these kids have worked too long and too hard to just say, okay, you're only going to get 9, you're not going to get 10 games. But it is a true road test. Anything to that to prep yourself to get on a long bus ride up there?
Yeah, I mean, just mentally, having that mindset of, relaxing and not getting too pumped up before you get on the bus. You still got a long ways before the game time, but we're going to break it up a little bit. We got a donor that donated a meal, Jacob Young, who's actually Leo Holmes, our linebackers coach. It's his son-in-law who played at MacArthur back in the late 90s, 2000s, and so he donated a meal. We're going to go to the garage in Edmond.
All right.
Stop there and eat burgers and fries, and so that'll kind of break it up, hour and a half, and so it doesn't feel like 3 hours in the bus.
It will on the way back.
It will, yes.
But as long as you're not driving, you'll be sleeping.
Exactly. No, another thing, a very fortunate situation. It's a virtual day for us.
Yes.
And so we were fortunate enough that since bus drivers don't have to drive routes, Mr. Hunt is the transportation director at LPS. He hooked us up with 3 drivers. So the coaches don't have to drive. So
very good.
Sit back and relax.
Yeah, the virtual day kind of helped out, coincided with that. Well, I mean, it's going to be a fun run and a good test, a 6A school, to kind of be able to. They drop down in that 6A2 realm, and so it'd be good to see a little bit of numbers. They got probably good numbers and physicality. And Coach says he knows nothing of them outside of what he saw on film, so that's kind of interesting too.
Yeah, like you said, I mean, I've never been to Ponca City.
Right.
It's kind of funny though.
First for all of us.
Yeah, it's kind of funny though. So I was telling the kids today, their head coach who took over this year's first year, I actually played with at NEO, and then we both went to Kansas State together.
Oh, wow.
So we played all 4 years of college. We were really close.
Okay.
He was a really good guy. His name was Justin Rowland. He went on and played 2 or 3 years for the 49ers. He was a linebacker. And so that's all I know of Ponca City is Justin Rowland. But besides
what he's going to bring, right? Right.
Besides that and watching film, don't know much about it.
Well, just to break down from your aspect of offense coordinator, what kind of defense, since we don't know, and we're going to find out on Friday, what are they going to bring that we're going to see on Friday?
So they little different look up front than we're used to. They run what's called a 3-3 stack. They have 3 defensive linemen and 3 linebackers, which kind of changes up some blocking schemes, stuff like that. So we've had to work really hard this week and get our O-line used to seeing that kind of front. And then in the back end, they're really athletic. We kind of compared, Ponca City kids are a lot like Lawton kids. They're really athletic. They're, just really good at what they do. And so, so we're excited to go see them.
All right. Let's get to our player. You guys can smile, Yeah, this isn't like the football photo opportunity. Bo DeLong, one of our wide receivers for your MacArthur Highlanders. And let's talk a little bit about your senior season. How excited were you to get this all started, since you've had a couple of years of experience under your belt? But they say this one's for all the marbles, and as far as experience-wise. And how are you taking this year in?
I've been really excited. I mean, I like taking it upon myself to finally be that guy everyone's looking up to and leading everybody. And, me and AJ have done a really good job trying to keep everyone in line and have everyone going good for this year.
Got to make sure on the film they say, okay, where is 17? Let's got to make sure that wherever he is on the field. How did you want to come in to improve on your game at being the best wide receiver that you could be?
I wanted to come in with a lot more confidence. I feel like even last year, I had some good moments, but I was still a little hesitant in some areas. So this year I really wanted to come in and just be a dog.
The season that remains, and I know we got Ponca City, and that's unfamiliar territory, but outside of that, and we got all the city rivals outside of it, any game on the schedule that excites you more just for the matchup sake? I'm not telling you coaches are going to say we never look forward. It's always the next game. But we're all human anyway, and we all kind of look at that schedule. Is there one that you kind of particularly can't wait for?
I really just like Bishop McGuinness and Newcastle. I know, I've heard they're pretty good. We saw Newcastle at camp. So, those 2 teams, I'm guessing, will be at the top of our district with us. So I'm excited to play them.
Yeah, and you got Newcastle that's going to play Elgin this week, so there'll be a little bit of telltale sign of what both we've already seen Elgin, but what they has. What is your favorite food?
I think right now it's probably ribs.
Ribs?
Yeah, Pushki makes some good ribs.
Really? I was going to say, where do you get the best ribs? It's his house? You got to go that.
The receivers bug. I brought them over last year, and we had some ribs. And
Okay.
now it's always, hey, make some more.
So you're making them, you're not buying them and bringing them?
No,
Okay, all right.
yeah.
Now, okay, let me ask you, what kind of smoker do you use? What kind? Are you one of the pellet guys,
Yep.
or you are a pellet
So
guy?
I have a Traeger. Yeah,
Okay.
I use pellets. And
Right.
So.
That's where everybody goes. I'm old school. I've got a pit barrel, and it's charcoal. I've always been a charcoal kind of a guy, and so it's slow go, and I like it. I can't really control the heat like you do, but I do like it though. I like it. It's everybody's got their own little.
Yeah.
There's some people that like gas, and some people, there's a big argument when it comes to barbecuing. But so, Coach Pushki, I'm going to have to get a little invite to one of those little receiving corps dinners there for that. And what is some of your hobbies? What do you like to do when you're not playing football?
I'm with this guy a whole lot, but mostly hang out with my friends. Waste money on food.
Okay.
Outside of that,
What do you tell an underclassman that's looking up to you to kind of role that they have to fill the shoes that when you guys leave? What are you kind of inspiring and telling them what to do?
Probably just take charge. It's really like a big job to be one of those leaders. In the weight room, locker room, on the field, everyone, just be vocal, be a leader, just be that guy.
And what kind of leader are you? Are you more vocal, or are you lead by example, or a little bit of both?
I would say I'm a little bit of both. I try to lead by example more than anything. I like people, seeing what I do and try to copy me type of thing. So.
Okay. All right. A.J. Vaughn is next to you, so we'll pass the microphone on to him. And, boy, it seems like you grew up around this program since you were, way
Yes, sir.
I could put that. And what's it like to be in this position as a senior, reflecting on all those memories of looking as an outsider to one day it's going to be me, and then all of a sudden it is you, and all of a sudden it's okay, you got to make the best of it. Well, how did you want to come into this senior season?
It's kind of surreal, just to be a senior now when I grew up, around Coach Pushki since I was little.
Right.
But the biggest goal for my
Doesn't it make you feel old?
the biggest goal for my senior year was just to be a better leader, teach the young guys, get them ready for when their time comes.
Right. And how did you want to get better? You know, I mean, you're all over the field and you're playing that great safety position. And oh, by the way, congratulations, you're going to carry out the hammer.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And Coach was telling me that you were a viable candidate every week. And he said this week was really tough, but you finally earned that. And what's it like for you to be able to carry out the hammer when you come out of the tunnel?
It feels really good. I mean, when I was younger, I used to see the hammer around and want to carry that. So
yeah. Have it in the locker room for the week,
yes,
and then
sir.
it's yours to come and take out with pride. Oh, yeah, so how did you want to get better at what you did? What was the one thing that you wanted to focus in on this year?
The biggest thing was just becoming a better leader, and then my coverage skills. I knew I was good in coverage last year, but I wanted to perfect my technique so when the time comes and the season's over, when I go to the next level.
You have a game that you've circled on the calendar that you are getting excited about?
There's a couple. Midwest City would be fun to beat since they've got me the past 2 years.
They have. They've had your number, so it's kind of like that revenge factor. And, you know, it's kind of smack dab in the middle of that. We always play Midwest City kind of like right there, you know, kind of a statement of kind of where you guys are and where you're heading. And it's interesting. Newcastle's kind of in that. And then Bishop McGuinness, that's the last game of the season. So that's going to be interesting how all that fails out. What is your favorite food?
I got to go with chicken Alfredo.
Right. And where do you get the best chicken Alfredo in town?
Probably Olive Garden,
okay.
for sure.
All right. Mm-hmm. And what are some of your hobbies? What do you like to do when you're not playing football?
Well, like Bo said, we're with each other pretty much every day, and we're just going on adventures. So,
so who leads in the adventures? Does he say we're going here? Or
it's definitely me.
Oh,
100%.
it's you. Okay.
It's me.
All right. So Bo follows. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. All right. And then lastly, what does it mean for you to be a Highlander?
It really means the most. Like I grew up around the program, and now I'm in the position. It just means the most to me, and I'm going to make the best of my senior year.
And what are you going to do on this long bus ride? I know they're going to break it up with burgers at the garage, but outside of that, what are you going to do since you guys have not really been on a bus this year?
I'll be asleep pretty much the whole ride.
All right. He's honest, you know. All right, that's good. All right, so Bo DeLong and A.J. Vaughn and Coach Michael Puschke, offensive coordinator for the MacArthur Highlanders. Best of luck to you on Friday, Ponca City, 6:30 for the pregame, 7 o'clock for the kickoff. You can join us right here on the Oklahoma Sports Network. So we're at Grand Cantina. We're not finished. We're just getting started. We've got Cash. We've got the Walters Blue Devils. They're in the house as well, and we can't wait to talk more football right here on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
Landmarks. They stand as symbols, reminding us of history and moments that shape our lives. We create our own landmarks. At Becker-Raybon Funeral Home, we understand the importance of honoring these moments. Let our compassionate team help you celebrate the life and legacy of your loved one. Offering a range of services to honor the stories that matter most, we believe that every life leaves a mark that deserves to be cherished and remembered. Becker-Raybon Funeral Home, honoring the landmarks of your life.
At Billingsley Ford, we pride ourselves on the integrity and transparency of our pricing. The price you see is the price you pay. As your hometown Ford dealer, that's the way it should be.
I'm Grant Billingsley, and that's the Billingsley way.
Bring home the win at Billingsley Hyundai with huge savings every day from our massive inventory of new and pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs. Come by today and see how we can help find a winning deal for you with America's best warranty. Now that's the Billingsley way.
Back here at La Grand Cantina here inside the mall. In fact, you want to be our guest each and every Tuesday at 6 o'clock where we talk area schools, football programs. In fact, we've got 6 of them on the docket each and every week. You got the 3 Lawton schools, Cash, Elgin, and Walters. So it's really kind of nice to kind of familiarize ourselves with the programs, get them to talk about what's been the latest. And We'll start with the Cash Bulldogs here at Tanner Thompson. We got to talk about. I didn't get to see your game in person until Saturday. I got back to and reflect back, and we had a great highlight video. And I know you're on the opposite end of that, but we got some good shots of some of the great plays that you guys had in that. You can see that on our Facebook and our YouTube. But how would you describe a roller coaster of a game on Friday that you just saw?
Well, going in, we had some young guys that were going to have to step up due to injuries, and when we got started, we were moving the ball on the offensive side, and we did some really good things. And defensively, we just felt like we had to make some adjustments after the first drive, and then offensively we got going right before the half, and it was kind of flip-flop from the first week. We went into the half with kind of some momentum, and then came back in the third quarter, and we had the ball the whole third quarter. We went down, we had a long drive, we scored. We did a little onside kick over the middle and got that back, and then went back down and scored again. And then, it just felt like at the end of the game, we got a little beat up and just couldn't finish. So
now the thing is, coaches will say between week 1 and week 2 that you see your biggest amount of improvement. Would you say that's so? And what did you see, outside of the final score? What have you seen for improvement for the Cash Bulldogs?
Absolutely. I think offensively we had a lot of good things that we did. There were some we had, turnover in the red zone. It was just a protection issue that we didn't. I think if we get that cleared up, I think we go score again. But, I think we moved the ball consistently. We didn't have as many penalties. That was a big thing we wanted to improve on. And then, we had a young quarterback in Zach Abbott that really stepped up, and did some really good things. And he was able to lead our offense, and we were consistent. And so that's what we were looking for. Defensively, we just, Altus was really good up front, and they gave us problems all night. And then we had some big-time busts that with their shifts and motion that we just couldn't get adjusted to. And, again, we had some guys in the back end that this was their first time playing in a big game. And so, just had some guys learn in some big moments there, and so that'll help them going down in the season.
Also talk about, you play at the Rock. It's an old traditional stadium that was a project back in the 30s, and they kind of add some stuff. Guthrie is very similar to that too. What was it like playing there? I mean, it's not a common opponent that you see, but it is kind of a unique trip in the atmosphere. Talk a little bit about that.
Right. So, it's only 45 minutes for us, so we actually – their locker room's not very big, and there's no air in there. So we actually didn't leave till about 4:30, 4:45, and just went over there with our pants on, got off the bus, and went right to warm-ups.
All right. Sure,
but, that their stadium is really cool. It's a bowl, and, it has a rock wall around it, and it was a good atmosphere. And so it was, and we kind of created, they created another rivalry with us and Altus, and it's called the Southwest Dogfight. So that's going to be something we do year in, year out going forward.
Now, whose idea was it? I saw that on social media, and so I thought it was kind of like a traveling trophy. And more of these district regions are kind of doing things like this.
Well, yeah, I mean, like we said, we're so close, and we had, our athletic director we had one of our coaches, Grant Zimmerman, kind of came up with the idea because we play him in every sport.
Right.
And so it's like, why don't we make, them another game like, Coach Pusey was talking about, with creating an atmosphere,
right,
for our kids to get kind of some emotion, atmosphere. That way when we get to later in the season, it's, we're used to that. And so, Grant Zimmer kind of came up with it, and kind of All-American Bank sponsored the shirts, and we got a traveling trophy now, and so that's kind of where it started.
I saw that too. Like Lawton has got the General's Trophy that was started back, and that was kind of a traveling trophy there. And I see up in the Metro they have some of those Oklahoma City matchups that have those kind of rivalries that are there. Okay, road test for you. Jump on the bus and go to Sulphur. That's going to be a little bit of a bus ride. It's kind of like MacArthur having to go for a bus ride. You guys do too. That's almost close to like a 2.5, almost 3 hour trip for you, right?
Yeah, it's right at a little over 2 hours.
2 hours, yeah, okay. So talk about preparing for that, and what have you seen on film? This is your last tune-up before you get into your 4A district. What would you like to get out of that, and then what did you break down from them that you saw?
Yeah, going into this game, we just want to go in and, be our best. And that's what I told our kids. I said, no matter what happens Friday night, we want to be our best, and we want to prepare and give Elk City, we're basically putting on tape what they're going to watch. And
Right.
So when we get there, we want to improve on the things we need to improve on both offense and defensively, and be at our best. And at the end of the day, we talk about playing for each other, playing for a greater purpose than yourself, and we want to put that on film when we show that. So, but Sulphur, they're really, really good. They're very, very physical. That's the first thing that stood out on film on both sides of the ball. They're attacking. They're physical. They use their hands well up front. They have a really good quarterback on the offensive side of the ball, and some really good skill players as well. So, they're going to be a really, really tough task to go in there. But again, at the same time, we're going to go in there and compete. We're going to do our best to compete. We're going to go in and compete to win.
And what you described also describes your 4A district. Tough, physical. So it's not going to let up after this week. Because you start getting in Elk City, Weatherford, Clinton, Elgin, it's all going to be that way. So I guess this is a good test for you to be as prepared as you can going into your district.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
All right, got some players with you, so we'll go right down the line. Give us your name, what position, and what grade you're in.
My name is Ben Vinyl. I'm a senior, and I play inside linebacker and wide receiver. Okay,
so playing both ways. Is there one that you kind of favor of the other? I won't tell a favorite. We'll plug Coach's ears up so he doesn't hear your answer. But you have a favorite of those two?
I definitely like playing defense more. I like studying the offense and finding ways to beat them.
All right, and what did you want to come in, for this senior season to make a statement? How did you want to, be remembered, and what did you want to accomplish this year?
Firstly, I want to at least make playoffs, and I want to be remembered as like a group that's really good at leading.
All right, and you got a little family atmosphere going there. Is there anything specifically you wanted to improve on as a player that you want to get better at and still can as we get into the further part of the season?
I coming into the season, I wanted to become more physical this year. And that's still something I need to work on.
Okay, so it's something that you can still have the opportunity on. Kind of lightly, we kind of talk to our players, talk about some of their likes and dislikes. What is your favorite subject in school?
I'm definitely a math person.
Very good. All right. That was my least favorite. I would have probably said, this is grade school stuff, lunch and recess, and then it goes into history is probably one that. What would you see yourself doing in the future after graduation?
Right now I'm looking at going to University of Oklahoma and studying pre-med.
Okay, pre-med, all right. And what ultimately, is there any kind of area of medicine that you'd like to involve yourself in, or just pre-med, and then you can decide from there?
Decide from there.
Okay, that's going to be a good 8 years of your life, right? So you're a dedicated student. And if you're good math stuff, you're going to go places. All right. Well, best of luck to you on the rest of your senior season, and we'll pass the mic down to your partner there. Give us your name, your position, and what grade you're in.
My name is Ben Angel. I'm a senior, and I'm a linebacker and kicker.
How would you describe this year's season as a senior coming into it? How excited were you getting to get started on it, and how has it been so far?
It was exciting coming in, and it's still exciting because we still have a lot to look forward to. And it's going to be a tough road ahead, but I think we can get it done.
Yeah, because the thing is you have one non-district game yet with Sulphur here, and then we'll get in the meat of your 4A schedule, that's coming up. Is there any game that particularly excites you as far as a matchup is concerned between the Cache Bulldogs? If there is, what is it and why?
Right now I'm just looking at Sulphur so we can try and get better and go into the stuff that counts.
Don't mean to laugh. It's just it's such a coach's answer. But I said, you know what? Deep down, there's got to be someone they say it's a rival or something else like that. That's fine. Sulphur can be it. That's their next on your slate. How did you? Now you say you're also the kicker and the linebacker. What kind of duties? Because usually kickers have practices all on their own, where everybody just they have their own practice and methodology. You can't really do that. So when do you get kind of your kicking routine in outside of when defense is called up on?
I just got to stay after practice sometimes, or just find time whenever I can.
Now, do you have linebacker shoes and funky kicker shoes, or do you wear what do you do for that?
Sometimes I just take off my shoe and kick barefoot.
Oh, really? A barefooted kicker? Wow, I haven't seen that in a while. Okay, so I always kind of poke fun with kickers. They have not only their own practice methodology, they have their own colored shoes too, and it never matches anyone else on the team. What's your favorite food?
I'd probably have to say Qdoba.
Really? And what do you get there when you go?
I get a steak bowl.
Okay.
Filled to the top.
Hey, by the way, you want a steak bowl that will blow you away? There's a bowl here, and I want you to try it at some point. It's all their proteins all in one bowl, and then we're talking about fajita chicken, fajita beef. It's got pork. It's got their ground beef stuff, and it's also got, let's hear what else, shrimp, and then, with the vegetables with peppers and stuff like that. So you may want to check that out if you like bowls.
I'll do that.
All right. Cash Bulldogs, Sulphur is the opponent. 6:30 for pregame, 7 o'clock for the kickoff. We still got the Walters Blue Devils we're going to talk to. And we got also the Lawton Wolverines and the Eisenhower Eagles. We'll talk to them as well as we take a break and be back right after this on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
Bank First is uniquely Oklahoman, deeply rooted in over 50 communities statewide. From those roots, our investment in education springs forth, helping to raise the Oklahoma leaders of tomorrow while providing financial strength to the business leaders of today. That's the kind of loyalty that helps entire communities thrive. Bank First, loyal to Oklahoma, loyal to you.
College is more than just going to class. College is a journey. It's meeting new people and making new friendships that will last a lifetime. It's learning from professors who care about you and your success. And finding out it can be really fun and rewarding. It's discovering that thing you want to do for the rest of your life. Cameron University is all about helping you grow and succeed. Because your success is our success.
Back here at La Grande Cantina inside the mall where you need to be each and every Tuesday, 6 o'clock, with a full menu of traditional Mexican favorites and even modern favorites. So if you want to split the menu, you're welcome to do that. I've already promoted that bowl a couple of times. You want to try it, and you won't be disappointed. That's a great treat to look forward to, in fact. But I will say this, word of wise, either come hungry or come with a partner, because I could not. And I'm a large frame guy, Coach, but I could not finish this by myself. So I had to take it home. And so I said, next time I come, I'm going to bring some help. And so you can do that. Okay, Walters Blue Devils, let's talk about, man, what a start. It's I'm not saying that you're peaking, because coaches always say, well, you don't want to peak at in the beginning of the season. You want to be really clicking at, November, the first part of December. I mean, if you can get to a state title. So you really kind of want to be October, November, but not to say that. But, things looking good. It's just from a vantage point of putting things together. But what have you learned from this team for the first couple of games that you guys have been able to play?
Well, one of the things, and I saw this right off, like I said a couple of weeks ago, our kids are really, really physical. And one of the things that I noticed Friday night when we were shaking hands with Wilson after it was over, I don't think they had a starter that wasn't limping or holding something, that was hurt. So these kids are really physical and they play hard, and it shows out there on the field.
Well, we always talk about coaches are never satisfied, always looking for areas of improvement going forward, and that's what non-district schedules are supposed to be, is to find out who you are before you get into district play. Who are you still wanting to find out who Walters is that has not been answered to this point?
Well, we've played the first half both weeks really, really well. And the first week, we put our second string in early. Last week, we kind of got sloppy in the second half. We had some penalties and some had a fumble, some things that I didn't like. So there's some things that we need to clean up and we need to work on, obviously. But, our kids are explosive. They're physical. They play hard. They practice hard, and I'm really enjoying that.
Vern Griffin joins us, Walters Blue Devils, and really a good start to the season. Got Velma Alma on the schedule for this week. What do you know from them? What have you broke down on film that you can anticipate for the fan base to know what they're going to see on Friday?
Well, they're another very physical team. They'll get after you. We've got a lot of film on them, and it's going to be a dogfight Friday night because they come and hit you in the mouth as well. So I look for both teams to beat each other up pretty well physically.
Well, let's not too much. Well, you got a season to get through,
yeah,
right?
But that's what you're going to see. I mean, it's going to be a very physical game. Both teams kind of alike. They like to get to the edge a lot and with their sweep, and they've got a really good quarterback, really good running back, and one of the things that I was really impressed this last week with our kids was that our offensive line really, really did a good job this last week. The more I watched, the more I graded, the better that we've improved over a 2 to 3 week period of time. And I just look forward to that to continue to happen. So I'm excited to see what we do against Velma.
Well, a little different, too, mindset of when you first took the job at Walters, when we kind of jokingly said, hadn't won in 30 games. What's it like to slip into this role now, a playoff contending team last year with the talent that you've got, to now take that where the expectations are, well, it's been rose a little bit. It's not like they're saying, okay, Coach, we understand what we gave you. Well, now they're going to say it in reverse. Coach, we understand what we gave you. Now what are you going to do with it?
Well, everybody understands the expectations are high, and we've met that so far. And again, we've got a really tough schedule and pretty tough district, but we're playing well. We're practicing hard. I've got a lot of faith in our kids. We've had some illness throughout this week, but we've handled it pretty well. And like I said, these kids are really resilient, and that's one of the things that I've seen that they're willing to go out there and get after it.
So give me the coffee shop talk around Walters. What are you hearing about your team, and what have they said to you? They may have not come to you directly, but what are you hearing about the town's fan base and what they're saying?
Well, there's a lot of excitement in the atmosphere down there. Obviously we're putting up close to 50 points each week. The people are excited about that, and people are seeing what I'm seeing too, that we're physical, and they're talking about how tough our defense is and how physical they are. And like I said, our kids are hitting people, and we've got some explosiveness. This last week, B.J. Palmer had 3 touchdowns and right at 200 yards rushing. So nice. And a kickoff return. So yeah, we've there's just a lot of talk about what we have and what we can be if we'll work at it.
Yeah, he's kind of picked up where he's left off.
Yeah.
Palmer is, and that's really kind of a good thing. All right, let's get to some of your players here. Give us your name, position, and what grade you're in.
Gage Berry, right tackle and defensive end, and I'm a senior.
Senior, okay. So coming into this season, excited to start football? I mean, are you kind of like you can't wait to have it to get here, and then it's finally here?
Yeah, I was really excited, especially for the senior year. Just finally getting to put all this work in. Everyone always talks about your senior year is gonna be your best year, and you put all this work into it.
Yeah.
And then finally you get to make it pay off.
Well, and they also say that you have to enjoy the ride because there is. I mean, and Coach is going to come here in a couple of weeks, and I'm going to look at him and say, you know what, this is week 5, and we're halfway through the regular season, and as much as I enjoy high school football, I have to really temper my excitement because it will be gone in a flash. And they'll tell you that. Enjoy your senior season as much as you can. What did you want to come into this season to get better at personally on the offensive line?
The big thing that all of us have worked on, but, specifically I'm smaller than almost every person I've ever went against. So my big thing is getting good pad level and but also driving my feet and hitting hard at the same time. And so far, I mean, it's crazy what happens when actually, when you do what you've been coached to do and it works.
Isn't it amazing? I mean, you can pat coach on the back and say, you're right. And I coach just a little bit on the lower levels, and you teach them low man wins, and so it doesn't matter how big you are. If you can get that leverage, and you already mentioned at pad level, so I was going to see, that's the best answer you can get. If you're going to be outsized, you're going to do that with athleticism on the low end as far as getting that. So what is your favorite food?
My favorite probably place to go is probably Cane's here in Lawton.
Okay, so you like the chicken strips there, yeah?
The chicken strips and sauce.
Oh, you like the sauce.
It's the best.
So if they left the sauce out of the bag, what do you do? Do you stop, turn around, and go back in, or do you just say, oh, maybe next time?
I mean, that's never happened just because how awesome it is. But
yeah, I know. I'm going to put that.
I'd probably have to turn back around.
Yeah,
I actually like it so much I have some at home.
Yeah. Oh wow. See, it is that kind of sauce. I get it. What's your favorite subject in school?
If I had to pick,
lunch.
Yeah,
just
lunch.
teasing.
No, it's probably, if it was my off hours at home, it'd be my history class.
History class? Okay. All right.
Sure.
What do you see yourself doing after graduation?
I'm definitely going to go to college. That's definitely the plan. I don't fully know what I want to do yet.
Okay.
I've thought about sports medicine, but definitely going to college and getting a degree.
All right. And let's go to your partner there next to you and give us your name, position, and what grade.
I'm Nate Thurman. I play tight end and defensive end, and I'm a senior.
Okay. Offense, defense, like them about the same, or you like one over the other?
I'd say I probably like defense a little better, but as long as I'm on the field, I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, well, we've had a lot of people that said that for some reason defense, and if you got a physical team such as this and you like to hit, then I think you like to give the hit than take the hit, right?
A little bit.
What did you want to get to accomplish in this senior season? How did you want to get better at what you do?
Something I still really need to work on is pad level. I was watching film, and that's something that I really last week didn't do a very good job at as I was getting too high. So I feel like that's the biggest thing for me that I need to improve for myself.
Isn't it strange that just to get into a base level, it's like you're asking for the world. It seems like so difficult in your mind. I mean, when you're high, it's just naturally because you're running and you're doing that. But to get down to another level, I mean, it takes a little bit of an effort, but it's not huge, but it makes a big difference. And so at least if you acknowledge that, you're going to be far better when it gets down to the season. We'll discount this one because Sulphur, it's a non-district game. Is there a game that kind of excites you on the schedule more than others because of, and I know your district's kind of changed a little bit with the complexity. You don't have the Apache anymore. You don't have that game on. Is there a game that you really think is going to be, wow, I can't wait for that matchup?
I'm ready to play Velma. They bring it. I mean, They're physical. They're going to be a good match.
So they can see if they can match your physicality to theirs, huh?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. What is your favorite food?
My mom's chicken fried steak.
Okay, Alexa, you put mom in front of it. She's a happy person right now.
Yeah.
Okay, and then what is your favorite subject in school?
Athletics.
Okay. How would you describe this year's Walters team?
It's a group of guys. It's special, really. We've all played together since Pee Wee, really, and even the guys that have moved in, they fit right in. It's just like this special bond and love that we have for each other that you don't see everywhere.
Yeah.
It's really special.
And what does it mean for you to be a Blue Devil?
I mean, it means a lot. I wouldn't want to be anywhere else.
Yeah, good. Well, good luck to your season. A little bit of a bus ride. I'll ask this. Not you guys. Where are you playing at Velma?
At Velma.
At Velma. So it's a little bit of a bus ride. What is your routine when you do on the bus ride to there? Are you sleeping? Listen to music? How do you get ready?
For me, I just listen to music and think about the game, get ready.
Okay, so on your player, your top 5 songs are, what are they?
I'd say pretty much anything by Forrest Frank. I don't know. I listen to. I'm not a loud music guy. I listen to a lot of worship music. It just kind of calms me.
Okay.
So I can't really pick songs.
Yeah. Everybody's got a routine of kind of what you get into. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, best of luck this week to you, and we'll see how the physicality matches up between Walters and Velma Elma. I'm looking forward to that one as well. So we have Cody Pennington and his brother Caleb that's going to be doing the play-by-play, 6:30 for the pregame, and then 7 o'clock for the kickoff. You can join us right here on the Oklahoma Sports Network. The Eisenhower Eagles are in the house. Can't wait to talk to them as well, and they're in an off week. So now we're going to get into this. Okay, these people are on. You guys didn't experience that because you weren't a 0-week opponent. So, lastly, do you like 0 week or do you like just being in the 10-game, let's start week 1?
Personally, I kind of like the 0 week just to have the break before district.
Yeah,
If it was some other time, I wouldn't want it. But it's nice to have that break before you go into district.
Yeah, okay. You kind of get things all settled. Walters Blue Devils, Coach Farron Griffin, and thank you, gentlemen, for being here as well. So we're going to take a time out, get to the Eisenhower Eagles. They're on the docket next, and we'll do them right after this on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
Memorial Medical Group's orthopedic specialists are the most experienced team in Southwest Oklahoma. Our orthopedic surgeons are trained to diagnose and treat shoulder, knee, hip, hand, and foot conditions, as well as orthopedic trauma, sports, or work-related injuries. And they're the only ones in the area to offer Mako robotic-assisted surgery for knee and hip replacement. When you need bone and joint help, trust MMG Orthopedics to get you back to living your best life.
All right, back here at La Grande Cantina, we'd like for you to join us each and every Tuesday at 6 p.m. where we're talking high school football, and we want to get you crowded a little bit more because, you're going to come this way. You're not going to be in frame. Yeah, I don't want to cut half of you off there. I don't think that's very fair. All right, so we got the Eisenhower Eagles. I know Coach so busy last week, and you started practice late, and you said, looked at the time and wasn't able to get you in here. But, we want to, certainly talk about your program and talk about what you're going to look forward to. And you had a Thursday game with Carl Albert to finish up kind of that non-district schedule, and then now you can really get prepared for real. A little different for you in a mindset because unlike the previous years where you were at a 5A schedule,
yes, sir.
Okay, now you're going to go back up to 6A2 for the first time, and that's going to be different. So different opponents, different expectations. But I would say my first question to you is, what have you learned the most about Eisenhower in these 3 weeks?
Probably the biggest thing for us that I've learned about our team is we got a lot of guys that are, hungry. They want to get out here. They're wanting to learn. They're willing to learn. And I think that's something that we can build off of all these first 3 weeks. I think we got to do a better job executing. And I think that's something that we've been really preaching this week and bye week. It's just execution, man. A lot of our guys, we know they know what to do. They know where to go. But you got to execute. So. And that's where the part of, I'll tell you guys all the time, I can't play for y'all. I think they're starting to buy into that part. It's like, man, a lot of this stuff is showing up on film that has either been coached, emphasized, or overcoached. Sometimes I would say, and we just got to make sure we take drill to skill, take all the drills and practice stuff that we're doing in practice, and let that turn over into the game. So just going back to the basics, a lot of fundamental football. We got a lot of youth. So this bye week actually was very good for us just to, like I said, get back to basics, get some of our guys back. We went into Carl Albert with 4 missing starters.
Yeah.
So, that's not how you want to go into a battle with the Titans. You probably want to have all your swords and armor and helmets and everything else. And hats off to them. They're a really good team. A perennial powerhouse, and I know a lot of coaches that would not have taken that game. So, that's something that hats off to those guys as well. They're playing at a high level already early in the season, very big, very fast. But, we're a better team than what we've showcased And I think that's something that our team is, really fighting towards. They really want to show what we look like as a whole. So just leaning on our leaders, seeing what guys can do, taking the week of bye week and really rolling into, again, fundamentals, back to the basics, and start to fly around again. I think that's something we're looking at.
You talked about because you have that bye week. Are you going to get some of those, the 4 that were out? Are you going to expect to have them back?
Yeah,
by district?
we expect to have all of them back.
Okay.
We had obviously Siri wasn't in the game. It was
Yes.
a hamstring deal, and when you start dealing with lingering issues,
and that is one that never goes away.
Right.
That's kind of like milk that through the season as best you can.
Yes,
so
sir. And, it was one of those deals where we all looked at it as as a staff, and we said, we can go out here and try to battle with Carl Albert and go crazy, put all our guys out there. We got 7 district games that really matter. And a couple weeks ago we talked about it when I was at MAC. We went 0-3 before we went to the state championship.
Yeah.
And that was something that's always held on me. I've always preached. I've always tried to, wherever I've been, whether I'm in Oklahoma, Texas, I've always used that story as, use the preseason, learn who you are, figure out who you are as a team, and then get that time to come together in district and really go on a run. So we still got our same goals, man. We still going to roll.
Well, it's something that you did last year is Hurt got injured, and Sari Sheridan, which was not on anybody's radar, came up and stepped up in that role. And now it's reversed. Sheridan goes out, Hurt's still there, and still maybe looking for that next guy, that other guy that can maybe produce for you that was not expected on the depth chart at all, And so, as they say, next man up,
Next man up, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Javon Harris, our guest for the Eisenhower Eagles, and what are you going to do this bye week personally? I mean, you so gear up into this. You get summer and you get in, the season starts, and it's a bye week. And what am I going to do on a Friday night? Where are you going and where are you going to watch?
I will definitely be up in Stillwater watching Carl Albert versus Stillwater, especially the opponent we just played, and then being able to see the team we're about to play.
Yeah.
So, and it'll be a good game.
And good game. I mean, you talk about what Stillwater just did last week.
Right.
How do you think that game's going to go? What's the outcome of that one going to be?
Man, it's going to be a battle to the end. Again, battle-tested teams, man. Enid played a good game with Stillwater last week.
Yeah.
And just watching through that game and seeing, they were actually in the lead at halftime. And then watching Stillwater come back is another deal. So just seeing guys that are, persevering and really resilient and really pushing through, you can see it on film.
Yeah.
And that's something that we're trying to make sure we can show on film. All the bad plays, all the lack of effort, things like that are on film, teams take advantage of. And same things that we're teaching our guys to look at and try to take advantage of. That's what other teams are doing. So we're taking this week to learn. For me, it's about, simplifying the game. When you got a lot of youth, you got to really break it down so where guys understand we can fly around. I think over the past 2 weeks, me personally as a defensive coach and a guy that calls the defense, I haven't been happy with how we're flying to the ball. First 2 years, we were swarm D. We get on the ball, and I think we were known for that. That was our identity, and we haven't shown that yet. So that's what we'll be, working on all week. Like I said, back to the basics, fundamentals of day one stuff. And holding guys accountable. I think our leaders on our team, I think they figured out some things about our team as well, and that's what you can kind of see in practice right now is other guys learning different positions, other guys making sure they know what they're supposed to do and the man next to them. And just continuing to work, man. It's still a lot of good energy. I think our guys understand. We played 2 really good teams. MacArthur is playing really good. Carl Albert's playing really well, and those are the top 10, top 5 teams in the state in their respective class. For us, it's about going into 6A2 and making a statement.
Yeah. What is your coaching points to your players about this week, about what to do, not to do, to get out of a rhythm, to know that, the season is still right upon us?
Just stay positive. Understanding we got goals that we're still trying to obtain and continue to work hard and learn. And I think a lot of it is, this game never stops. I've been teaching my guys about the love of football. The game is always changing. It's always evolving. It's always growing. So you can't stop as a player when you think things are going wrong. You got to continue to learn. Even when they're going right. We talked about next up.
Yeah.
I tell my guys all the time, it's next up mentality, good, bad, or ugly. You can have a great play, it's still next up, next play. And for us, man, it's just again going back to the basics, finding out who we are, coming together. Coming together as brothers and coming together as a team. Which one thing I can say about the loss last week, you know, and I looked on the sideline, I didn't see that ounce of quit. You know, I just saw guys completely in the game, still there, still watching, still trying to learn, still being there, still supporting their brothers. So you can build off of that. Yeah, we still made some plays. We just got to build off the positive, you know, look at our negative and clean it up.
Well, you know, what excites me about 6A2 is that, you know, instead of a perennial, okay, you got to avoid this on the top end of it, it's pretty much wide open. And ever since Bixby kind of left and went up to 6A1, just look at the state finals. You know, 2 years ago, Stillwater won it for the first time when Bixby left. And then Muskogee won it this last year when they left. And so it really kind of leaves – it kind of wide open of whoever can put it together at the end of the season. Let's see who's last man standing.
That's it. And then, like you said, man, I think that's our goal as coaches is pushing. This is not even the start of our season. Right now, everybody is 0-0. Let's go out here and show the best version of ourselves, be the best version of the Eisenhower Eagles, and then let's see what the outcomes will be. So, like I said, we got some really good guys. I got 2 captains with me today.
Yeah.
And I think they've bought into that side, you know. And again, little things, you know, cleaning the locker room, facing the helmet the right way.
Hey, he will call you out because I've seen on social media some stuff that was left on the field, and there's a picture taken, and all it says is, "We can do better." And I said, I bet you they got the message.
That's it, yes, sir. So, man, and our guys, when they get out there every day and take pride, again, in our not only – the school, but we got new fields, we got all this new stuff, and I preach to our guys, you know, and a lot of times it's not our guys that leave the mess.
Right.
A lot of times it's from outside sources or whatever, but I tell them it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter, yeah.
That's our field. That's what we're going to have pride for.
Knowing your dad as I did, he'd be very proud of you that you've he's instilled that in you and that you can instill that to others because that's pretty special. Before I leave you and we talk, I got one more thing, and it's OU related because it's a big, you know, college game day is going to be there for the first time in a while. But you have an alum, you know, such as Josh Heupel, and it's very interesting because the players have a different perspective. I'm sure they would say the same thing about you when you played. Javon, you played at OU. I don't mean to make you feel old, but they were asking some of the players, and they said, Josh Heupel's coming. I said, I don't even know who that is. You know, well, okay, I wasn't even born. This is what they said, and that's true.
It's true.
They were not even born when Josh Heupel won a national championship in 2000 and did what he did, and he was on the coaching staff. But what's it like for an alum to come back to OU in a matchup like this on a Saturday night thing? What's that going to be like?
Man, it's going to be a wild one. Me and Coach Hyper actually are really cool. I actually talk to him all the time. And it's crazy because when I went into the college coaching world, you know, I just kept in touch with him, these things like this. So, man, I'm really excited about seeing, you know.
Well, he's going to want to make a statement.
Exactly.
And he's not going to let any foot off of any gas
not
either.
At all.
So it's going to be.
You, and they're playing at a very high level. Tennessee is playing really good, man.
Defense,
I know it's just one of them deals like I played here. You know, it's kind of.
Are you going to the game?
Not this weekend.
Okay.
I'm not. But you know, it's kind of like when I coach against Mac. You know, it's like, you know,
I understand.
I got to win this game.
Yeah, that's right.
But you know, afterwards you're gonna still have that Sooner pride, and you know, I know he's still a Sooner at heart all day, every day. But
not on Saturday.
Not on Saturday. He'll be orange.
Rocky Top.
Yes, sir, man. But you know, I think OU is going, you know, show up again. I've been seeing a bunch of stuff about the crowd showing up, and you know. I was actually talking this past weekend about, man, I'm looking at the crowd. It was like, it ain't full. So, man, I'm challenging OU fans to get out there and support our guys.
You
man,
need to do that,
And just, you know, big things going on over at OU. I think, you know, they're going to obviously clean up some things from week to week, just like any good program will.
Yeah.
And I think it'll be a good game.
All right, well, thanks for that insight.
Sir.
Okay, got players with us, both captains. Grab the mic, and tell us your name, what position, and what grade you're in.
My name is Aiden Dingle. I play safety, outside backer, and tight end, and I'm a senior.
Do you like wearing that hat where it's, you know, you just named 3 positions? Do you look at the sideline and coach just shuffles you? Does he just make a motion and you go, okay, you're here now you're going here?
I don't know. I just think that I'm a smart football player, and I just know the game very well. So coaches just know I can
put you where they need you. Yeah,
yes,
that's called a utility player. I mean, just that we're going to plug you in where needed, and so you're not selfish, I guess, by saying, well, no, this is my position. This is What did you want to come into this season to get better at and to improve at? What would you say it was?
I think just having a next play mentality. I think I get down on myself a lot, even if it's like probably like a missed tackle or maybe a drop pass. Just coming in, next play mentality, So
what has this season been like? I mean, you got the first game of the season. Hey, that was against Lawton High. That was a big thing, and you got that win. And then like Coach says, you played two good programs that are a little salty and got after you. And then what about how does that make you into going forward? What this team is going to be?
Like Coach said, he just said, the first 3 games is really just kind of like preseason, So
yeah.
So the back half of the season is really just ball out. So the first half is just, to see where we at as a team, see where we can grow, see where, so.
Well, this is Coach's 3rd year, and so, he's kind of been, the program's kind of established in that. And, you see teams change from week to week, year to year. How would you describe this year's Eagle team?
We are a young team. I just think, and we're a little smarter than other teams. I just think that if we just have heart, we'll be fine.
What's your favorite subject in school?
I like my science class, Mr. Hooker.
Yeah, and what would you like to do after school? What do you see yourself doing in the future?
If not college, probably trade school like welding or the military.
Yeah, very good. I mean, gives you an opportunity, and those are great jobs and great positions. All right, the guy next to you, another captain. Let's get your name, position, and what grade you're in.
My name is Michael Robinson. I'm a junior, and I play left guard and nose.
Left guard and nose. Boy, I'll tell you what, we've kind of picked on nose guards a little bit. I want just that. Have you ever been called off sides and it was because of you? And did you ever jump and the ball's right underneath you?
Not this year.
Okay, I've just jinxed you now. So it's yeah. It's all in fun. Just when you say how on earth, as a spectator, we say it was offsides on the nose guard. How can that happen? He don't have to worry about the ball. He sees it. He's right over it. What excites you in both of those positions? Which one do you like more?
I kind of like being a nose more, just because I get to fire off.
Get to fire off and hit that center every single time, whether he likes it or not, right?
I like to mess up the center snap.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of like in baseball. Catchers, and I never liked catchers because they're the worst at badgering you. They're getting in your head, getting in your mindset. Do you kind of do that with centers? Do you kind of play a little mind games with them? Do you talk? Do you do a little trash talk at all, or you just business as usual? What do you do?
I don't really talk that much.
Okay. And so you have a junior year to look forward to, and then your senior year. Going forward, how would you like to get better at your positions?
On offense, I would like to get better at my footwork, taking the right steps, getting my head on the right side of the block, and not whiffing on blocks. And then on defense, I would like to just fire off the ball faster.
Any game particularly that you're looking forward to on the remainder of this schedule?
Probably the next game that's coming up right now. See how far.
Yeah, for Stillwater. Yeah, now. What are you going to do during this off week? I mean, it's really strange to say you're not going to be playing football on Friday because everybody else is. Are you going to go to a game? Are you going to watch a game, or are you going to just take the weekend out? What are you going to do on Friday?
I'm probably going to go. No, I'm probably going to stay at home.
Yeah, because, it's interesting is MacArthur's got a big road trip. Lawton High's off. You guys are off. There's nobody at Cameron. So it's kind of like, that's very strange. Usually you get that up and, it's crossed over where someone's there, and you always see some of that come across. And what does it mean for you to be an Eagle?
I don't really know. I haven't really thought about it like that.
What's your favorite? Oh, go ahead.
I put my jersey on, and when I put it on, I guess it makes me I love the sport. Coach Harris made me love football. He's the main reason I'm really still playing football.
Wow.
So being an Eagle really inspired me to play football.
And talk a little bit about what was his inspiration that made you continue with football. What was it that made the difference in your life?
I didn't really play at all in middle school, and when I came, I knew nothing about football, and he took the time to work with me and help me learn the sport more.
It's a little different when you have a coach that cares and kind of takes you. Probably not a big fan of the stairs, though, right? Running Cameron. he smiles and you shook his head, and Coach Harris is loving it. So it's part of the program, part of the conditioning. All right. Well, best of luck to your junior year. We're looking forward to seeing a lot new opponents that Eisenhower has not had on a schedule before. 6A2 wide open, as we said, and best of luck to you.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Appreciate
Well,
it.
enjoy the bye week off, and we're going to come back, of course, to our coaches show at La Grande Cantina, and we'll be back right after this time out on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
The thing with car buying nowadays is just how many options there are when it comes to where to actually get a car. Dealerships, websites, auctions, private sellers, and so on. But knowing exactly where to get your car loan makes it all much less stressful. That's where Communication Federal can help. There's a reason we're known for auto loans around here. Lots of car options, lots of places to buy, but only one choice for an auto loan. Communication Federal Credit Union.
4D Landscaping and Irrigation has been providing top-rated professional landscape and irrigation services for the past 25 years. They take your vision for that perfect landscaping project for your home, new construction, or business and make it a reality with their easy financing options. You'll want to make sure to ask them about their seasonal services too. 4D Landscaping and Irrigation. Call 510-9983.
Yeah, for those who are watching us on YouTube, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. We'd like to have an opportunity to be able to join us there. And then on Facebook, for those who are joining us on Facebook, like us on Facebook, give us a follow there, because then and in fact, sometimes you get notified that we're going to be live and going to be doing different games, and you'll be able to catch up with us there. So our social media, very strong presence on Facebook, on Instagram, on X, and then, of course, YouTube. Make sure you download our free app on Apple and Android devices. It's free to download, free to watch. 12 schools in the network. Jones is our latest edition and looking to add even more. So if you know of a school that would like to be a part of the Oklahoma Sports Network, we'd like to have that conversation with them. Also, Roku, Amazon Fire, and Apple TV. That's where you can find us in your home devices. And Elgin already had a commitment of rescheduling. So for those who are saying, well, we weren't able to see the Elgin Owls, they had a 9th grade rescheduled game. And so Coach Chalmer told me yesterday that the Owls will not be here to represent. They will be here next week. But they have got a really great matchup with two OSN teams. Well, we've had that with Elgin before, but Newcastle will come to town to take on the Elgin Owls. 6:30 for the pregame, 7 o'clock for the kickoff. They're just coming off of their bye week, so very interesting. We got some that are on, some that are off. Eisenhower and Lawton High both off. MacArthur, we said earlier, travels to Ponca City for that matchup. So you've got plenty of games to watch in the network. Midwest City and Dell City, that should be a very interesting matchup. Carl Albert and Stillwater, that's another one. So, yeah, you can have your TVs and your mobile units cranked up to watch all of these contests. We want to thank La Grande Cantina, of course, for hosting our coaches show with our area teams and players. We can focus on what they can bring each and every week. And they've got a great menu of traditional, original Mexican flavors and recipes from a great family that has established this business. And then they also have some modern favorites as well, so if you'd like to be a part of that. So each and every Tuesday, 6 p.m. for the La Grande Cantina Coaches Show, and you've been watching a presentation of the Oklahoma Sports Network.